It's time for Leather Podcast.
All right, welcome back to episode 11
7-11
of the Leather Podcast with Paul Beardew Craig and Chris the Bad Guy Bungard.
That's you.
Just off.
Hey,
Cage
hey,
Warriors
hey,
fight.
hey.
Oh, right.
Can you introduce yourself?
Sorry, and I'm Ross Cooper.
Fuck yourself.
Come on, mate.
Give me a
bit of character in that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Ross, Captain Stabbing. Cooper,
Captain Stabbing.
Ket Goblin.
Brilliant.
Chris, big one
Yep.
at the weekend.
Aye.
I'll let you just...
Aye.
Because there's a few things people didn't know about the fight.
Oh, I know.
Or are we keeping...
I'm sick of telling you them though, so
I know.
it's still annoying that I keep needing to explain it to people, but I was clearly injured going into that fight.
What was it? 2 herniated discs?
Yep.
You were getting traction as well, like what, every day for like pretty much a month?
It was like, you see me hobbling in here every week.
Aye.
Like, it was like, and I know in your minds you're like, you want to tell me not to fight. I know that fucking, some people did tell me, and when they told me, it was still annoying me because I'm like, nah, I'm fighting. I know I'm fighting. So, the lower part of my spine, which is called lumbar, part L4, L5. The doctor was like, basically, like, see when I went in to get the my MRI for my brain for my fight on the Saturday, they'd just done an MRI on my spine, and he's just like seen images like, yeah, you're fighting this Saturday, like have you seen this one? I'm like, no, it's alright, I'm doing this therapy, I'm getting stretched, my spine stretched out, I'll be fine. Just literally ran out because the brain MRI only came in on the Friday and I was fighting on the Saturday, so that was got to end up canning my fight. Right. So that was mere pressure. I was like, wasn't telling anybody. So but basically I was getting this IDD therapy every day in Glasgow, where it's a decompression of your spine for 25 minutes. So it stretches you, then releases, stretches. After 5, they take the table under you, so there's no give. It's a deeper stretch, more pressure, your body weight, and every day the pressure goes up. And it gave me relief, and it was getting better, but I was also still training, which was like,
Gonna fuck it up.
yeah, like going against it.
Counterproductive.
Yes. So, but we had a date, so it was like, get me in the best shape you can, and I'm going to make you walk and try and live off the adrenaline and the condition I'm in, because there was zero grappling, zero jiu-jitsu, zero strength conditioning. I done like farmers walks and stuff like that, which was still pretty sore, and I just knew I could beat the guy. And it's stupidity, it was stubborn, it was even, and I knew myself, but I was like, and I didn't do it for the money, I don't need the money or that. It was just, I know I can beat this guy, and I know how to fight. I've been doing it for 13 years. When I'm in the gym doing MMA sparring, because it was the only sessions I was doing, I was fine. It was a bit sore, but it was fine. So I'm like, fights tenfold. You know what I mean? Like, adrenaline's tenfold, crowd.
Did you have any painkillers or that? Did
yes,
you take in?
Yes, just ibuprofen and paracetamol.
Just to take away.
Last month, before that though, I got some dodgy painkillers I filled with black market for nerve pain. They were fucking me up a wee bit at night.
Are these the ones that I was sending you into fucking a coma?
It's
like,
a pregabalin or pregbalin or something like that. But they were for nerve pain, and they weren't doing anything to me. They weren't taking any pain away. They were just fucking zombieing me.
Here's what I want to know. What's the long-term plan? Because obviously you've still got herniated discs.
So I'm still got to be doing this therapy.
And how long is that going to take?
It can take up to 20 sessions for it to go away.
Wow.
And I've had 10 or 11. So this IDD therapy is basically like a surgery replacement. So
right.
I'll do it so I don't get surgery.
Am I right in saying surgery is pretty much they cut out the bulge or they fuse the disc?
Fuse, I think.
Yeah.
Aye, that's.
But it can also like retire me.
Aye.
So it's the last thing I want is. So hopefully, I'm still got to keep going to this treatment.
Does your back feel better now than for when you started the
It did
therapy?
before the fight, but the fight was like
Aye,
like
15 minutes.
back to
Obviously,
square
15
one.
minutes, man.
It's
Aye.
like the worst thing I can do for the fight for training was probably like cage work, ball work, where you've got that tension, people try to take you down,
and you're turning.
And basically that was like the full fight was like. So it's basically, I feel like I'm back to the start, but I'm still got more good mobility.
Here's another question. A Bungard fully equipped with no back injuries
finishes him in the first round.
I was thinking the same thing.
I don't want to like shit on him at all or that, but I promise you, and I swear on my father's life, my daughter's life, I was at least 40% in that fight. And I think if no injuries and I'm fit, don't even get me started in the weight cut as well, but I would, one round, I'd probably finish him in one round. And
Yeah, what happened with the weight cut? I seen you'd obviously messaged me and told me you were 12 pounds to go.
So I'd
You looked in good nick as well when we seen you on the video call. You looked.
So I'd fucked up my diet through the week because I was eating salted salmon,
Oh,
like
shit.
heavily salted.
But you had no idea it was until...
Not on me, but I'm not going to blame who it was for. But so I'd been water loading, the water wasn't coming off,
And then
obviously
this,
because
you just
salt
added salt. It's
holds
fine.
holds
Yeah.
water.
Oh.
So I do a few saunas on the Thursday night in a bath, wake up 6 o'clock in the morning, I do 4 saunas, 4 salt baths in a row, 4 hot baths in a row, rattled them, totally fine, absolutely fine. The water's flying off me, I'd cut 15 pounds for the night before, I had 2 pounds to go. As I'm walking down to the weigh-in, my full body shuts down. Cramp for 2 legs, my back, my right arm starts twisting round my back. I can't move it, I can't grab it, I'm in pain, I can't move, I'm like shit. So I'm like, they carry me to the elevator, it's all documented from a documentary. I fall when I go out the elevator to a chair and I start vomiting everywhere. And Michael starts trying to cover it up because somebody in
pull the
Cage
fight.
Warrior says that. The fight's
Fight's
gone,
off,
man.
done, man.
So we miss weight with 2 pounds. So we're like, I got another 2 hours to go. So I'm like, right. So I'm kind of sitting there, I'm pretty fucked to be fair. But we go down to the sauna and I start cramping up again and it's a million times worse. So I jump in the pool and it just made it 100 times worse.
Was it just a normal temperature pool?
And it was cold.
Aye.
It was cold.
So it's done the opposite.
Everyone's just
Yeah,
fucking
it was
tightened
cold,
up all
but
your muscles.
I had tracksuit on and there was people in the pool that stayed in the hotel. I just stripped off and I had my boxers on.
Families.
Right? I stripped off, I had my boxers on, I just jumped in the pool and I'm making noises you would hear on fucking Animal Planet. I swear to God, man. There's like a family here, there's a guy doing lens. I'm like, I'm myself though, that makes it worse. I'm myself. So they're like, who is this guy? It's just stripped off these boxers,
Security.
jumped in the pool and then just making fucking animal noises. I'm waiting on Michael come down with towels and that. It passes, right? So I'm like, right, I'm feeling good. So I've jumped up. I'm like, fuck it, we'll get a bash. Sat in the sauna, right? Starting to cramp up. Ian Dean has told my coach Brian not to cut it because it's unhealthy, it's unsafe,
Right.
because my body was shutting down and I vomited. Brian shows up with my rehydration drinks at the window. That was it. Game over, man. As soon as I seen them and he says, Ian Dean said no to, I'm like, give me the drinks because I was in a bad way. But I was in the sauna ready to go, but I got 50% and my money took off me,
Enough,
which is a stinger.
Steep,
But
Victory tastes sweeter than money.
honestly,
man.
if these £15 fell off at that, and if the salmon wasn't salted, the water would have come out easier and it would have been. But on the other side, I hadn't been training. Like, I wasn't going through these sweaty sessions every week of the grappling where the weight comes down gradually. So there's hundreds of shit that was going on behind the scenes, but to cut a long story short, I mean, I'm buzzing to get the win, and I do think I done enough for the win.
Aye. What about the elbow in the round one? Mate, that was a fucking stonewall
So
elbow.
I don't know why this guy doesn't like me, right? Clearly.
Mark Goddard, I messaged you and said, Mark
Right.
Goddard, you could literally
Honestly.
be lying there, deed, and Mark Goddard's like, no,
So-
keep going.
So the bell goes, and then I get elbowed. Can we agree on this? I was
Aye,
after
no,
the bell.
correct,
I was
yeah.
right. So in my mind, I'm like, right, if that's legal, then I've clearly lost the round because he's just dropped me. It was a beauty, to be fair.
It was a fucking winner, mate. It was a good wee swim in. He swam in. It was like the DC.
But I down tools. With the round went, I down tools. So you see me like,
Aye.
boom. So that's down to me. Protect yourself at all times and all that jizz. But
But it's still
like-
a foul.
Aye, but see, during that, Mark's right to a certain point because I talk too much to Mark like he's like, you need to focus on your fight. He says I've got an attitude problem and he's no reffing me again, but we'll get to that. But there was an knee in the balls, there was cage grabs, the late elbow, eye poke. He kept poking my eye, you know, and then Mark's shouting at me. I'm like, I'm the fucking victim here, dude. You know what I mean? Obviously,
Mate, I told you that it doesn't matter what you fucking do. See for the day you cracked that can of Monster in that cage. That was the reason. That's the reason. He
That's
doesn't
about
like you.
10 years ago, bro.
I know.
And then the whole Rio thing, the George Haswick fight. So what do referees do before every fight in the changing room?
They give you the
come and
lowdown,
see
aye.
Every other referee came and seen their guy.
He just didn't want to fucking
He didn't
see
come
you.
see me, right? He also tells Gavin Hughes that he won the fight.
That's nothing to do with him.
Can't do that, bro. Come on.
Knows a referee.
You know what I
can't
mean? So that proves to me that he doesn't like me, right? So I'm in the doctor's. He's trying to tell me, Chris, I need to talk to you. Like, you need to focus me on your fighting. Never mind what I'm doing. And then he goes on to tell my coaches and my teammate that he doesn't want to ref me again, and I've got an attitude problem. So that night, he messages me. So I'm drinking, obviously, after party.
Do you go for him?
And I get a DM from Matt Goddard. Big paragraph. I'm like, oh, here we go. I've had a few brews, so I'm like, this could get interesting. But he's like, Chris, I've just watched the fight back in real time and I've fucked up. I've made a mistake. Apologise. It's a late blow. I owe you one. Congratulations on a win.
That's pretty. That's
so
pretty
I'm
fair.
like, I'm in a good mood after this one. Listen.
And he doesn't have to do that either.
Aye, exactly.
No, he doesn't.
Doesn't
But
he do
He
that?
did
Aye.
take a bit of heat on Twitter because it was the replay on Twitter and everybody was tagging him, gave him a bit of time.
So for guys that are listening, Mark Goddard is one of the best referees in the UK.
Probably the best.
Right.
Even arguably the world.
Aye.
UFC.
So Chris, I can think of a few different reasons why the guy doesn't like you. Chris won a fight on, what show was
On
it?
Top.
On Top. Cracks a can of Monster, pours it, drinks it like fucking Stone Cold Steve Austin, right? Goddard comes up to him and says, "You're fucking lucky this was the last fight," right? So starts there. He's also manhandled you for jumping the cage.
Yes.
For jumping the cage, like so. We've
After
won
Paul wins.
we've won the victory, and the big man jumps the cage.
Is that Magomed?
Few of them.
Aye,
Oh,
he's done it
yeah.
twice. So
Couple of
he's
times.
literally giving him shit for that. And he also, there was the issue with your last championship fight where he's
Hardwick
like,
fight. I thought he stopped it early. And
well, I watched it back recently, and I think it's an easy. I think he steps in too quick,
Aye, of
100%. Well, especially when
it's
you
a
see
world title
him.
fight. He gave me 3 seconds.
So there's that, and then we're in Rio, and then he comes up to do my rules meeting, and he just fucking lays into you.
Aye, like, you're looking at me like you want to kill me, Chris. I'm
I
like, I wasn't. I was just like here for Paul. Like, so I said, look, I'm here for Paul. That's not to do with this. And then he doesn't show up to give me my rules meeting. Then all these mistakes. But he did message me and say
Aye.
they got it wrong. So I was like, listen, Mark, fuck it, like whatever. I enjoyed the fight, and I says, sorry for being a pain in the arse in the cage. I'm always in the heat of the battle. I'm fucking, you know what
Aye,
I'm
of
like. I
course,
just
man. Like,
It's a passionate thing we're doing.
exactly.
Like,
So, aye, I'm buzzing. I got the win. Clear damage over control for me.
Yep.
I think
Mate, it was
even
in some
with the
nip.
elbow,
Look at you now though. You didn't look.
even with the elbow, I still thought Gav probably took the first round, right? Because he'd maybe done a little bit more.
I thought it was CBD control, and especially with referees or the judges at the side. They like, it's so hard to score MMA.
Aye.
So they're like, right, you look at his face, and in a real world situation, this guy's getting fucked up.
Yeah.
But in MMA, just by holding somebody,
Yeah.
like we seen Stevie Ray at the weekend when I was there in PFL. The guy just held Stevie
Just
to
held,
get the victory, and I'm like, fuck MMA.
That's why if I'm getting held, I'm doing damage.
Mate, the elbows were fucking
The
lethal.
shoulder strikes, elbows, knees, anything I can do that makes me look better than you. And I feel like
What
I feel like
what about the flurry?
Aye.
What about the fucking switch knee, the fucking crescent kick?
So he shot in with the crescent kick and it just cut his eye.
Aye.
But I feel like everything I was trying to do was winning the crowd over and they could see this.
Aye.
Manchester were
Whereas
loving it.
he was just trying to help.
Aye.
So I said to you in the car, he was just, right, how can I just grind a suit and get a win? How can I eat up minutes on the clock? Whereas Chris was genuinely trying to entertain
And I was
cunts.
tired as fuck.
But
I
do you-
was so tired.
Because that's like, I know you pretty much one of these guys. It's like it doesn't matter what it is. I can get off the couch and still fight.
Aye.
But there's fight conditioning.
No, exactly.
There's fight conditioning.
And that was in my mind. I'm like, I can't fuck
I
that.
can't.
You need to know, like, my experience knew when to rest,
Aye.
but in the third round, when I was like came against the cage, like I was honestly like, it was like somebody shouted, John shouted 3 minutes. I'm like, that's a terrible shout, man.
3 minutes.
3 minutes. But at one point, I honestly landed like
The elbows were
20
fucking
elbows.
There's
He was getting
referees who
lower.
would
He was
stop
getting
fights
lower.
for that.
I was like, I'm going to finish him here. I'm going to finish him here. But no, I mean, it was a good fight. It was a good fight. Aye.
Tough guy, tough experienced wrestler. That's what
Aye.
it was.
And it was good to get that one
And
back after 7
39
years.
fights.
39 fights,
Mate,
man.
that's a
Number
fucking
40,
incredible
big
number.
40, I know.
Catch something with Clay Guida.
Aye.
You've only
Was it
got
61?
11 more when that's the game over.
Yes,
That's it.
11.
Completed it.
Aye, well, let's see how this injury goes, because in my mind there, like, when
you
I was training
concerned
for it,
about
I
this?
was like, well, in that camp there, I was honestly thinking, like,
This might be it.
This could be fucking, am I even got to get here? Or,
Mate, see if
every
it,
day I was,
see if it
I
comes
was
to
in
it, I'll
pain.
fucking wheel you out and throw you in the cage for 40. We need to get a round number. You can't just have 39 in the record. I'll wheel you out, fucking launch you in the cage. You can be like the wee guy that fights on his ass because he doesn't have legs. You can just be that wee guy.
I've seen that.
So,
It's fucking hilarious.
what about the big long walkout? Massive, like SummerSlam 92 at Wembley. Who's the first guy to see the walkout? with the shades on.
Captain stabbing.
So I find
Are you able to clip this video in?
That wee. He's like,
Aye. So, I just seen that and I fucking folded, mate. I'm watching this in Vegas at like 12 in the afternoon. I was fucking in stitches, man.
There's rocks right there.
Because you had like documented your rise and fall of that Saturday or that night, and I was like,
started with
fucking
a
hell, man.
Begbie picture. How funny was the Begbie
I know.
picture? Kids.
You know what's funny is
Because I tell you, bring the fucking kids.
the boys picking me up, messaging me. I was like, so Derek and that. I was like, how far away are you? Oh, we're about half an hour away, and I thought, right, I'll just walk to the shop and get some cans of juice for the car. So I get to the shop. I get to the shop. Thought I'll buy a couple of cans of beer, a couple of cans of energy juice will be fucking smashing. Standing at the till and I looked and I just seen the shelf with a fucking Mad Dog on it and they had one bottle of orange, and it was a proper like Schmeagol in Lord of the Rings moment, and I was just like, well, he's one of them as well. And that was it. Like, I just fucking knew it was game over, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
Did you enjoy yourself?
I had a brilliant time.
There you go,
I had a
man.
brilliant
That's what it all
time.
matters.
That's why, I couldn't do that more than once a year. No way.
Took some life.
Oh, mate.
Well,
Took a bit of your soul that weekend.
I'm only starting to like feel normal today. To be honestly, I'm not making that up. I was fucking in a bad way. And then my missus, so people had started sharing that picture of me like at the walkout with the phone. And I'd slept the whole way, just fucking cabbaged all the way home. On top of all the other stupid fucking stuff I'd done throughout the day. And I gets into bed and I looked on my story and people are tagging me in it and I'm fucking laughing, and my missus is just like, what the fuck are you laughing at? And she's just like, you proper just laughed yourself to sleep looking at these pictures. But mate, I was a fucking idiot. Like, jumped in the cage and the security were like, right, come out the cage, and I just went, nah, I didn't think so. And I just stood there, and then I was like, Derek, take some photos. So Derek's up taking pictures. I'm like that at the cage door, and the security guy's like, come down, and I was just like, nah.
So what was the cocktail of getting Captain stabbing it?
I feel bad saying it, but I'll just tell you. So there was a wee bit of everything. There was a wee bit of everything. We had a wee mixture. We had the horse tranquilizer in there.
wee bit of dust.
Wee bit of just partying, eh? And
So
it started off very civilised though. Just a couple of cans of
Because
beer.
I remember you saying,
my kids.
I'm not going to get fucked up.
Aye, that was my plan.
Aye.
Truthfully, even when I bought 8 cans of beer and I thought, do you know, that might be a bit much. I was like, oh, probably just stick with the 4, and then I just was like, fuck it. And then I saw the 2020 and I was just like,
aye, dark side.
aye. And then
So
a couple of bags before I know it.
So
We're all
I
having
get-
a good time.
So I get took up for media, right?
You sent this into the chat. I was folded.
So-
I was in bed shaking and everything.
So it just caught me off guard. Totally other side of the arena. All the guys waiting like one after the other type thing, no scrum. Big backdrop and that. So I do like 7 interviews and I just look out and I see Ross. Ross is down there. He told him that he was with the Daily Record.
And they're like, man, mate, the security walked me up and we're like, just
He's
wait
got
here.
shades on. I was just like, right, funny interviews. I said I was security like for the Daily Record. And I'm like, come on with me, man.
Aye, I just went away to that wee bit where you got changed there. I
Aye,
remember
so we
that.
just walked our way through here,
I
man.
was just, to be honest, I spoiled the day for myself a wee bit because there was some great fights, I'm told. and I can't fucking. Honestly, mate, they're just a pure blur, eh?
No,
and
mate.
then I got Big Derek a bit fucked up as well. I felt kind of bad. And
No, man.
I think Derek gets fucked up every time I see him. Derek's one of the guys when I see him like, oh, it's 6 at night. Ah, fuck it. I'm body swerving him.
he had a bottle of Mad Dog as well, so fuck him.
Everybody had a great night, mate.
Everyone
so
had
that's
a brilliant time. Everyone I saw, do you know what,
Aye,
as
go
well?
fuck yourselves.
It was trouble free as well.
What a
That's such a big thing.
crowd, mate. It was like sold out. About 4,000, 5,000 or something.
Was it as many people as that? Aye. It was busy,
Unbelievable.
like. It was cool.
Mad venue, though.
Where was it? The Echo?
The Bowlers Exhibition Centre, we had all like the Comic-Cons and Horror-Cons and all that.
Cool
But-
venue as well.
Cool, very cool. So it was a good weekend.
I had a brilliant time.
How
Thoroughly
was
enjoyed it.
Vegas?
In comparison to yours, it was shite.
Really?
I did just
No,
annoy
mate, it's
you.
fucking brilliant.
I don't believe that for a second.
So I ended up pretty much sleeping the vast majority of the time away. Like I landed on the Monday and was absolutely fucked and had to sleep the full time.
Because of jet lag.
The jet lag,
Aye.
I was absolutely fucking.
It's
beasting.
it's
And
10
my-
hours
and
or
I
9
ended up-
hours or
ended up with a
something.
sinus infection for the plane. So remember, I get my nose
Through your nose?
operated. So I get the nose operation. Went in the plane. Ended up with a sinus infection. My whole fucking top bit of my head just felt horrible. So then slept all day Monday. Slept all day Tuesday.
Was that alright for flying after having that done?
Well, that's why I ended up
Quite
with
a bit of
sinus because
pressure,
it was like all the recycled air and it was just fucking So highlights of it was speaking to Megan Anderson.
Right.
She is a absolute babe. 6 foot, makes me look like a
GBL.
makes me look tiny, right? But I start speaking to her and she tells me that her dad's from Scotland. Or she's
Of
like,
course they are.
No, but that's what I
Of course
thought.
they are.
She's like,
Everybody.
my dad's Scottish, and I was like, aye, right, cool. And I was like, aye, cool. So's every Australian's dad.
Enjoy your night, mate.
No. So she
Is
actually
she
tells me.
Australian?
No, he's actually
Is
Scottish.
she Australian?
She was born in Australia. Her mum is from Liverpool, and her dad's from Blantyre.
Right. What?
Exactly.
My lawyer's for Blantyre.
So she's telling me this, and I was like, "You're not even fucking Australian."
No.
And she's like, "No, I was born in Australia," and I'm like, "You're more Scottish than Casey O'Neill."
Aye.
Strong. I know it's strong. Seen Casey as well. Just good catching up with these people. You know,
Did you see
only
any guys in that, or was it just all chicks?
It was just all chicks. It was just all chicks.
What about the PFL and stuff like that? What about the show?
That was
the
good.
event,
It was really,
Stevie's
really
fight?
good.
Is that
so
your
when
first time going to the PFL in America?
Yes, because I went to the Manchester one, but it's
What did you-
obviously it's brilliant. Like we done the fighters meeting. That's when I'd phoned you guys, and then in the back there was
Captain America. Randy Couture. that was
Randy,
funny.
big Randy was there. So Randy's there. Is it Sean? It's not Sean O'Malley. It's Sean. Used to fight in the UFC. Used to do the funny.
McCracken or something?
No, he used to do the funny weigh-ins where he would give somebody like.
Aye, that's what I was talking about the last time, and I can't mind. He was
Brady?
one of the guys. He won
no,
his
it's
first fight on the PFL.
Aye.
Sorry, he
Gave him
lost his first fight and
roses
went
and
on to
that.
win it. You would not. The second you seen him, big fucking tattooed guy.
Aye.
I know who you mean. I can never remember his name, but
O'Connell.
That's the guy. So he does the PFL.
he's had some scraps. Him like.
He's won it twice. The
Aye.
PFL.
And now he commentates on it. Is that right? Aye.
That's what you want. So there's him. There's Kenny
Florian.
Florian. Obviously, my MMA knowledge is
Ken
fucking
Flo.
tremendous. Aye, but I was just up the back munching and stuff. There's all this free food, and
Randy Couture, man, what a legend.
I know. So cut to the fight. So we do all the media stuff with Stevie. Stevie's in good spirits. Stevie cuts weight just like a bit of wood. Like
Aye.
he just sits there, and he just wills the water take out his body, and it just does. And then like he's just like,
sit on, man.
I'm like, you alright? He's like, aye.
Don't ask again.
Aye, so he makes weight fucking super easy.
Did he cut a little bit? I don't know if you want to hang with that.
He cuts a fair bit.
Because he is a big
Big laddie,
thick
like.
dude, man.
But he does
He's
it.
thick, bro.
Aye, so he done a wee bit in the night before and then done a wee bit in the morning. So he books this meal and he done it to me twice. Stevie Ray fucked me over twice with food. So I'll put on my Stevie Ray accent. He's like, so I've booked this restaurant, eh? And I'm like, right, cool. It turns out it was a fucking steakhouse, wasn't it?
Right.
So I'm in the steakhouse with me, him, and James Doolan. They get these fucking absolute winners of steaks.
Fuck's sake, bro.
And I end up having cauliflower, broccoli, and corn.
Delicious.
Aye,
You suck, man.
I know. So then that's that. That's after
I
he's
smell
made weight.
bacon.
So he's after making weight, so he does it in the Sunday. So it's just me and him in the Sunday morning.
The fight's out the way and he's still screwing you?
Aye, so he's like, I've sourced another restaurant. It was called Hash House A Go-Go. So we go to this place, man, right? It's a fucking steak restaurant again. I end up having a fucking French toast.
Oh, Jesus.
Like, so... Aye, but it was good seeing how PFL. It was good being in Stevie's corner because I'm used to obviously being in your guys' corner. This is the first time I've been in the corner for the guys at higher level. Sitting next to James Doolan as he's calling out the information is incredible. Like, the guy's a master of. He loves the sport so much, and like seeing I speak to him about it, you can see that for him, and seeing his comment and like telling Stevie what today, everything's spot on.
Well, it's one thing you can always hear when James is corner is him shouting,
and he's
the cage side.
super calm, super collected. I think it's the fact that the guy had so many fights in Cage Warriors, high promotions, and he's been there and done that.
It's funny, I was telling you about him in the car, so yesterday in the gym things were not really going my way and I had a wee fucking huff to myself. Just fucking went in the change room and I was like, fuck this, fuck it, I'm away. Just stick my shoes on, I'm fucking getting out of here. And Sean Clancy came in, he was like, you alright? I was like, nah mate, fuck off. and he was like, look, come on, just. And I was like, do you know what, you're right, I'm being a fucking gimp, I'm going back out. So I jumped back on the mat, end of the session, kind of sitting there just chatting and that, and I sat beside James and he went, have to go in the change room and have a wee word with yourself. I was like, aye. He was like, aye, it happens. And I thought, you didn't even know he notices that.
No, he notices everything.
But aye, that kind of.
Did you like, just tell him it was just sweating the drugs out?
I was just, mate, it was just fucking one of the ones. Just had a bad day at the office. A tough session as well. And fucking
that Tuesday, they do a Tuesday and a Thursday wrestling class. And it's catch wrestling, so it's a tough session.
Mate, it was hard.
I want to stop in one time.
It's hard
showing the boys how it's
what
done.
about the fighting itself? Obviously I heard that he got out grappled, but
He did.
any striking involved? Was it?
Seemed he was landing the straight 1-2. He was landing them right down the pipe, bump.
He was up against the guy that had won it a few times,
he's won it.
He's
I'm
good
sure he's
Brazilian.
won it twice as well.
Schultz or something.
And the guy kept switching and then hitting that low calf kick. Switch, low calf kick. So I could hear James. So James is like, every time he switches, he's looking for that low calf kick. So punish him with a body kick. And seemed he was doing it like James was calling it. It was like James was playing the video game. Every time he was doing it, he was landing that kick. So then the guy had to change up his plan. And then I think he tried to take Stevie Ray down the first round. Stevie bounced back to his feet using the cage, and then it was all these wee judo trips against the cage, like the wee pulls, the wee sweeps. It was just throwing him off balance, and he did good. The guy was a really good grappler. And then the next 2 rounds was basically him just lying on top. Stevie Ray couldn't really get up. He really couldn't.
Eating up time.
The guy was just eating up time, and that's what I was saying. Like some referees and judges who are watching MMA will score that very highly. Others will be like, right, there's not a lot of action happening, there's not a lot of damage happening, because the guy wasn't landing strikes, the guy wasn't looking to get on a dominant position and drop shots. It was just basically just holding top position.
It's frustrating.
The good thing is that, like, obviously they lost his first one the last time, and then
he made it to the final.
So
that's what I said to him, and I was like, regardless of what happens,
to play for.
And then he was pretty much the same as yourself, right? He's not got an issue with his back, but he ended up, was it sort of cellulitis?
I saw he'd put up some pictures he'd had, and it had a pretty bad bacterial infection of some sort with a lot of
had to get like,
antibiotics.
Had to get antibiotics.
MRSA, in fact, did he not say it was? I'd have to check because I might be wrong.
So it was in hospital for like I had to go to hospital every day for a week to get antibiotics and a drip and all that kind of shit, man. So
you don't get any tougher than us, mate.
I know the Scottish. I fucking love the Scottish, man. We're for fighters, aren't we? We turn up and we fucking days we said we're going to do. You sign a contract and you'll make that weight. But then after the fights, Stevie, we have a few beers with him just to kind of commiserate. James does not, because James is literally jumping on a plane to head back to Glasgow to corner Chrissy Shaw, who won
Sunday.
more. He won a Thai title.
So I had a few messages for the higher level guys, like a lot of them. So I'm like, is this a plan? Is this? So Shawsy messaged me as well. Clancy and stuff.
They have a good.
So I said well done to Shawsy, but like that was the start. Like he wasn't fighting to the Sundays.
The Sunday,
I'm the
that's
morning.
right.
I'm like, all right, well, Well, let's
done when it
let's
comes.
make it a good weekend. Know what I mean?
Did you see the body shot? Boom,
Aye, I
hits him,
did.
man, and folds the guy. It was a good fight. I same again. Watched it. Me and Stevie watched it like in a pool party. Me and Stevie went to a
Oh,
pool party.
aye. We seen. You on the Bud Lights? What were you on?
Bud Lights.
Bud Lights.
Bud
aye.
Lights, and I was
Did they
taking
have
belters for
the
the boys.
tranny on the front of it?
I knew you were going to say that.
Take belters. So after the fights, end up with Martin Compton.
I seen that.
Aye,
Fact,
the guy
aye.
for Line of Duty,
Sweet 16,
Sweet
baby.
16, like
Good
What a
Celtic
film.
man.
Aye, so he was telling us about, because I was speaking to him about movies and that kind of stuff, and I was what's worse, because I was speaking to his wife as well. I was
He
like,
does a
what's
lot of TV though. Yeah.
Aye,
Is this what-
he's on something just out
The
in
Rig?
Prime, the Rig. Aye.
Aye. Got asked to be on it.
So he's telling me about shagging scenes,
Right.
because he had to, and then I forgot he was in Filth, and he says, when I was in
Shagged the
Filth,
guy?
I was in Filth with James McAvoy, and I was going out with his sister at this point, and he was getting a bit handsy, he was grabbing my dick, and he went, it's kind of hard sometimes when somebody's grabbing your dick, to get turned on. So he's telling us this story, and I'm like, wow.
What does he
this is
say
brilliant.
again? Like pussies for. You can blur this out if you want. Pussies for something. And filth. So did you
it's-
shag her ass? Or pussies for.
I
Something
can't
like-
remember word for word, but he's so he's telling us this story, and he's like, James is like some of the outtakes where James is getting a bit hot and heavy with the kissing and all that. He's getting deep, and he's obviously having to act this out. So then I said to him and his wife, I said, what's worse, fake shagging or the kissing? Because the kissing's real. If you winch somebody on screen, then it's a proper kiss. Whereas if you're fucking somebody, you're not fucking them. And he says, well, they've actually got this thing now where it's like a big gel bust, so it's like it sits over the woman's vaginal area, right? And he says you can just go to town on it. It's like, you can just fucking batter it. So he's telling me this, and I was like, how do you know get a hard on?
Ace Ventura, your gun is sticking into my hip.
So he's like, you just go to town on it. And I was like, how do you not get a hard on? I was like,
You do.
'cause straight up,
Wait, I
like,
get a hard on getting a fucking massage, you know? You're clearly got to get
Make
one
it
if your
in the
kid
motor.
I've got your kid on your banging about to like.
aye, going full throttle.
And see, with a
he
kiss,
says,
a kiss is more intimate, I think.
I agree, and that's what I was saying to his partner. But he's like, you don't want to get hard. He went, there's about 30 people running about you all watching. That's why you don't get hard. And you're like,
Oh, he's Dave, throw some dice.
but he showed me how to play craps.
Aye.
I'd never played it. Turns out he doesn't know how to play it either. So he's like, we're playing poker, right, and we're having a good time. So he's like, he
Did you
went,
just meet him in the hotel?
no, he came to Stevie's fight.
Right,
so
okay.
him and Stevie have got some sort of connection.
Right.
So we're in, after that we go and play some blackjack, and we're gambling. Big man gives me 2 sheets, you know what I'm saying? He's like, here you go, Paul. So I'm gambling with his money. So I'm not giving a fuck if I'm losing it or not, because it's his money. So we end up going through that to, he's like, come, we'll go and play blackjack, we'll go and play craps. And I'm like, I don't know how to play this. I'll show you, it's so easy. Turns out it is really easy. And as long as you don't roll 7, everybody keeps winning. So, like, you know, when you see, and mate, I had everybody.
Show me can do.
No, I used 2. I had the full table shouting Jumanji.
No way.
I also had the tables.
Why you don't record some of this shit?
Can you know? Do you know what the one more was? I had them shouting Mandela.
No, you know
I did, man. So we're in this fucking casino just rolling dice, and
on the table.
and I can totally understand why people get caught up in this, because see, when you're rolling and everybody's winning money, everybody's excited.
I mind
So
seeing folk
everybody's
doing it
like,
and just being like, what's
"Whoa!"
going on here?
It was fucking brilliant.
People go mad for it, eh?
So I ended up like,
Does he live out there?
he lives out
Right.
6 months of the year, stays out there, and 6 months he comes back to Glasgow.
Aye.
But it was just
play
cool.
with Greenock, Martin.
Aye, he was telling me, we were speaking about football, and I was saying how my daughter every week goes to support Airdrie, and she went, hey, Airdrie fans are a bit wild. And I was like, I take my hat off to her, because every single week she expects something different than a loss. But no, it was a cool experience, and it's all about these stories, isn't it, where you get to meet a new guy and then potentially party with him.
I've got a funny story for you. From the Thursday night weight cut, right? So I'm in this wee pool in the wee sauna bit, but I'm in the pool, and there's this guy walking around the pool, denim shorts on.
Daisy
right?
Dukes.
no as tight or small, and a white t-shirt on with 2 bottles of water, but just swaggering around the pool.
Just doing nonsense.
Looking in the sauna. Is that still on? Can you hear that?
I can hear you.
Looking in the sauna and all that, the swag, like talking about swagging, right? So I'm in the pool, like kind of cooling down a bit. I jump back into the sauna. So there's a lot of Cage Warriors guys in the sauna, guys from Holland, right? So they've got a lot of Dutch fighters who are on the card. A couple of us, whatever. So your man comes in, right? Sits in the middle, just looking about as well.
With the denim shorts on?
Yes.
In the sauna?
Yeah, but
Phenomenal.
He's took the t-shirt off now, right? So he's just looking about as well. That must be some sort of event on this weekend. And I just like, it's a MMA event. Alright, looking about. Alright. Would you fight a man in the street? Just looks right at me. I'm just like, I don't know, man. Like, why?
Is it you fucking weirdo?
If he said something to you, I was like, depends what he said. Guy sitting beside me like, aye, I would. And he's like, you would you? Just staring at him, right? I'm like, here we go. Right in my mind, what am I thinking, who this guy is, or what this guy is. Right, so 2 seconds later, you know who my favourite fighter is?
Fucking hell.
Tyson Fury. I'm like, of course he is, man, right? So he's just staring at everybody, right? He's
Gucci
like,
belt buckle on his jeans.
They're all like,
on his jean
they're all
shorts.
fighters, right? So like, I'm probably the weakest man in this room, and I've never said that before in my life. And I'm just like, this gun's just want to swing it, guns. So he starts talking about McGregor's and Diaz's, right? That's the best ones are Diaz's. So he's like, but then Diaz beat him the second fight, and I'm just like, obviously he didn't, because McGregor won. The Dutch guy's in the corner. I'm just like, please don't. He's like, but he didn't beat him the second fight. He's just like, whoosh, just staring at it, right. I'm stunning up, not. So I'm like, no, man. He's like, but it wasn't like a submission like the first one. Like he mauled him basically. It was a split decision or something like that. And look at Ngannou, like Dana White, and Ngannou's left for the better deal. And I'm like, clearly he's not got a deal yet.
Guy's not got a job.
I'm like, don't say it, Dutch guys. And the wee Dutch guys that he's still got a deal yet though. And it's just like, this is it. This definitely a traveller, right? He's clearly a traveller. Just jump up. Would you want to go? Do you want to go? Do you know this and that? I'm like, he's just wanting to take out like 10 fighters in a sauna and tell the world that he's done it or something.
That'd be a cool story to tell.
Honestly. So he's slicking the hair back. He's like, I'll be your promoters, slicking the hair back. But he's a young boy. If Eddie Hearn can do it, I can fucking do it. And he's just like fist bump everybody. So I've took my sweatsuit off and I've just tied it around my head so I can't see him. I just couldn't look at this guy any longer. Stoning up, looking at everybody, right? So he's like to me, eating a tangerine. Here.
Why has he got a tangerine?
This one bit of tangerine. Take it. I'm like, no man, I can't have anything, can't drink or eat. It's a tangerine, bruv. Take it. Eat it. I says, nah mate, I'm not eating it. I just put this thing out, I was like, you can't eat a fucking tangerine. And all that. Just sitting there, I'm like, I'm going to blutter this cunt.
It's
He's
mad
like,
that somebody
he's
did
like,
they just go, get the fuck out, mate.
he's like, I'll be back. I'm like, right, no bother, Arnie. He's left. He's went in the steam room. Michael's come in. I'm like, Michael, you just missed this guy. I just told him everything. And all that. 2 seconds later, Michael's trying me into the steam room just to sample this guy.
Antagonise him.
You see, they walked in and the guys jumped up and pointed to Michael like, this man's a fighter. Look at this man, he's a fighter. Guys just a balloon, man. I just wanted to do it to them, man. So you
didn't need that when you're going through it.
Tangerine and
what's my favourite?
Just going about looking for trouble, man.
Right, it's the scene you're in cutting weight in a sauna and you do a bit of fighting, son.
Aye.
I used to be a fighter. They're like, every time you happen to just get the guy who was a boxer that didn't make it, every single time you're in the sauna doing a cut, you do a bit of, it's no real fighting, but
Aye.
you don't do that real fighting. I done the real fighting,
The
son.
boxing.
Aye, mate, leave me alone, eh?
So this guy with long hair is like talking to us all because we're all cutting weight, and he's like, I love the energy, man. I love the energy. And I'm just like, this guy does yoga. This is all I'm in my mind. I'm like, you're a yoga or a runner, right? So he's like, so I've done like marathons and that before. I'm like, I knew it. I was like, bet you do yoga. He's like, yeah, I do yoga, man. But fucking knew it, man. I just knew you were a yoga guy.
Stereotype this guy in your
So
They do grow into it, but
aye. But aye, so this traveller was like just calling us all out and make me.
Them to get a dag.
No, I just.
Did tarmac anywhere? Want to clean your gutters?
My first ever fight, my old man started fighting with these traveller boys. Just my dad. His behaviour's as bad as mine, to be honest. But he's a cunt for it.
I was like that. He's like, I'm not a fighter. I'm like, you fucking are a fighter. That's what I say. I'm like, you are a fighter. Is that not professionally? No.
Couple of squares.
Fucking out the back garden. 100%, man. 100%.
Couple of straighteners.
They're a fucking nightmare, to be honest.
But see, everybody that challenged him what he says, I was just like, oh, don't
do it.
Just felt like he was going to start swinging. I think we've looked at this man for long enough. Should be.
So we got a few fan stories, and they do not disappoint.
Are they all sexual?
I think it's.
We're all a bunch of sexual guys.
I think it goes with the remit of being a fucking leather podcast fan.
And everybody over the weekend, wherever we were, everybody was praising the podcast basically.
So I'm on a podcast at 3 o'clock with Pete Say Carroll,
legend,
and he was saying the exact same thing.
Legend,
he's like absolutely love the podcast.
Aye.
So we're doing something right. Do we have a name for this guy?
I don't know if they want the name revealed.
I'm going to call him Friar Tuck.
Friar Tuck. Friar Chug.
Can you see his face on the screen? No.
If you want to.
No, let's not do that yet. Let's not do that yet.
If he's listening, he's going to know it's his voice.
Aye, he'll know. He'll be alright with it.
But his mates are all going to know the story because he's obviously told it.
But he says I'm sure he says at the start of the video, like, oh, my missus might not be happy with this story, but fuck it.
Aye.
Right.
So he's cool. So
the damage is done. He sent it in anyway, so it's in our hands.
And a cup is coming your way, my friend.
For sure.
A mug.
I keep fucking cutting it. Can you see me?
I can hear you fine, mate.
Right, young Jamie.
Guys, been enjoying the podcast. Bungy's stories are fucking amazing. Love Captain Stabbing, of course.
Turn up a touch, please.
Where's he from?
It's an
Figured
Edinburgh
I'd
guy.
send us. Pretty sure the missus will be pissed off, but fuck it.
Can you
Why
see
not?
this?
Aye.
So
Fine.
my funny story was all the way back in 2002. I was only 15 and
As a laddie myself.
hadn't lost the virginity, you boys. It was fucking sad times. And
Sad times,
Sometimes, eh?
out for New Year's Eve with the boys, just couldn't get that many people in the house, so we're all just kind of strutting about the street in the snow like fucking idiots. And we ran into a few people, got talking to this lassie, and long story short, tried to get some action outside, wasn't cutting it. Too cold, shrinkage. But at least that's the story I'm sticking to. So she invites me back to hers. Obviously, I'm thinking that sounds a bit sketchy.
ballsy,
No,
man.
my dad's not there.
That's
Nanty's there. Sister's away. Fucking da. So went back.
This lassie must be a
Got
slapper.
got the virginity popped. Good times. And just kind of milling about the place.
like he's casing the
For
joint.
whatever reason, there was a pool table in the house. No, like one of those fucking small shitty jobs. Big fucking like pub style pool table. So my 15-year-old brain's like, yep,
Shagging
get
on
up
that.
there,
Right.
you're getting fucking pumped on that.
Guy's
So
left a big fucking spunk
What
stain
was the
on
one
it.
I
The dad's
did?
fucking
Snail trail?
Aye.
I forgot to lock the front door behind me, didn't I? And then walks the dad. So he doesn't initially see me. So I've bolted.
Got 10 to the dozen in his
And I've
daughter.
jumped behind one of the couches. Petrified, absolutely fucking shit in my pants. This whole fucking 20-30 minute diatribe happens. He's steaming. He can barely talk to her. Thankfully never asked why she only had a towel around her, obviously. That'd be a hard one to explain.
And the big man's
But
totally bollock naked.
she's trying to get him upstairs.
It's going to be.
The clays
But all my clays are
clays are
upstairs.
upstairs.
Clays are
And I'm
upstairs.
fucking downstairs. And there's no way I'm getting past them. So she's come back downstairs after like a 20-minute shouting match with her old man. She hasn't got my clays. Fucking idiot.
Guy's just cutting about his house, bollock naked. That's
And
Lying behind the couch.
He's talking about upstairs. I'm trying to tell her, get the fuck back up the stair. Get my fucking clays. What am I supposed to do? I mean, for context, outside it's New Year's Eve 2002. It's fucking lashing with snow. It's windy. What am I supposed to do? Run outside in the fucking scud? In the snow?
Dick in a Pringle tub.
No
It's New Year.
So he starts downstairs. I've had to hide in this wee, like, fucking alcove bit. She's trying to push him back up the stair. Doesn't he listen? Spots me. Who the fuck are you? And I'm standing, kind of like a right fucking silly cunt.
With no clothes on.
Thinking, like, maybe go toward the front door, maybe go this way, maybe go that way, maybe hit him. Who knows? So, I look at the back door, and the key's in there. So she's trying to wrestle him.
I love that.
Took the key, thingied, trying furiously to get this fucking thing unlocked. I can hear screaming in the background, Daddy!
Daddy.
As soon as one foot goes out into the snow, pow, fat end of the pool cue, right to the back of the fucking dome. Wow. So, by my reckoning, it was a long time ago. I must have been knocked out or badly fucked up because I can't really remember much, and he never done much damage to me other than the pool cue shot. So I'm out in the snow, he's stalking about, she tried to pull my way. Like I said, no other damage done. I've had to jump over the fence, still in the scud. Just about bit my fucking
Imagine you looking at
right
Wendy
nut
seeing
clean
this.
off. So it's in a row of, like, no semi-detached houses, but there's probably a good 10, 12 houses in that row. So I've had to kind of walk, well, jog 60 yards, hop a wee fucking, like, grass verde
He's still
bit,
bald
come all the way
naked.
back
He's
to the
still
front.
fucking totally
I can
naked.
still hear the shouting
In a
even to the
street.
furthest part away.
New Year.
Aye.
My
Place
clothes
must
are
have been
getting
fucking
flung out
busy.
the window by her, and I'm, like, still fucking adrenaline. It was bad. It was bad. Because I woke up in the morning with a fucking severe concussion. Went to the hospital, tested me, like, fuck me, you're severely concussed. And, aye. Moral is, always lock the fucking door behind you. I've never done it since. So, lesson learned, I suppose. Every day's a school day, but that's my story.
Brilliant.
So, fun and games, mate. Fun and
Absolutely
games.
tremendous.
But
Brilliant, man.
keep the podcast going, boys. Fucking love it.
Appreciate it.
That's
That's
hilarious, man.
Definitely
good
deserves a mark.
Imagine you looking at the back window and there's just a 15-year-old boy scaling your fence.
You wouldn't be angry.
No.
You wouldn't be like, fuck, I get my gear. You clearly know he's in the buff.
This
He's
man
been
needs
caught
help.
doing something.
You'd be
Like,
banging,
good luck.
hey, you're fucking
You would be
legend.
saying good luck. Like,
I must help this young shagger. Something's gone wrong.
And then the chick's fucking launching his cleats out the window.
I know.
He's wanting his fucking
Get him a pair of my
Adidas
pyjamas.
Sambas out.
Just had a
big man the Sambas.
just had a fucking
So-
bill cue to the head.
See, when I was young, I stayed in the high-rise flats, and my mum and dad used to fight all the time. So one time, my mum chucked my dad's fucking, see the big CD players with the vinyls and the cassettes and all that, right off the balcony.
Buff.
Smashed it, right? They were arguing, I don't know. I went down and stole all my dad's CDs that were inside it. So you had the James Greatest Hits, Oasis, What's the Story and all that. So I just nabbed them and put them in my room. And like he always went on like, "Aye, your mum fucked him at the balcony, man." And I loved these CDs too. And all that time they were in my room.
Dear, oh dear. We're going with the next one, or we got to?
Wait, I've actually seen this one. This is
Mate,
fucking
I've
hilarious.
not seen this one. I've not seen any of this one at all.
Am I right in saying that no putting this one on the screen either?
No, don't put that on the screen.
Do you know this guy messaged me and said that was nice to meet you on Saturday night, and I'm like, aye mate, you too. Nath probably did meet him. Probably a nice guy.
We're going to find out if he's a
Aye.
nice guy.
I hope he's not. Good start.
Fucking rioting, man, in there.
What's your story for the podcast?
It's alright, we can edit that.
I know you've been wanting a story for the podcast, right? So it might be shy, you might know, you might want to use it, you might know, but we'll tell it anyway. It might be fucking.
Maybe need to cut his
you don't
name.
want to use it because it's a bit fucking X-rated, right?
Oh, we're using it.
Anyhow, I'm doing for Bungy's fight against Gavin Hughes.
Just narrowed yourself down.
What about you?
Just narrowed yourself down
The
there.
story is,
I did meet him.
so I went to this club in Sataponza, right? And I met her back in Scotland again. Long story short.
Two places.
Back to her bedroom. She's lying on her back, and I'm doing it on the flare, right? I was letting her out, and she was soaking, right? And I stuck my pinky in her arse because right in her arse, mate. She didn't give a fuck.
Just right in and she didn't give a fuck.
Man, they stink like that.
He's actually doing it.
Oh fuck. So I thought she'd come, right? I turned around, there was a fucking... she was watching me at pure eye contact. But she was proper watching me. But I didn't want to look down because I could see there's a big jobby in the I couldn't look down because I could see it. She was fucking right over me. So I'm like, fuck's sake, she just come there. So I just came there. Wait to the toilet. Big fucking... A massive big toilet. Right in the fucking...
He's actually just done that.
Fuck's sake, bloody bastard, man. So what did I do now? I'm stuck in this toilet. What the fuck did I do now?
Fuck, get out of me.
So I could have slapped her there, but I couldn't. So
Couldn't slap her.
Back out, you good to go again? No. I think I just came there. That'll do for the night. Cool, no worries. Right, will I'll see you again? No, I don't want to see you again. So I was like, fuck's sake, man. Did you just shake my horn? Somebody fucking shot my horn. It wasn't fucking me, was it? So it must have been you.
Did you just shake? Did you just shake my horn?
Shite on my horn. Shite on my horn.
Oh,
it wasn't fucking me, so it must have been you.
I've been this for years, it was me.
Oh, brilliant. That guy looks a bit familiar too.
In the story.
Brilliant, man.
Use a banger.
Oh, the boys, man.
I definitely get a mug for that one. That's hilarious.
That's fucking hilarious. Aye, he was messaging me on this either
I'd have shit my horn and it wasn't me.
the Sunday or the Monday. He was like, "Oh, mate, you were in some nick on," and I'm like, "I don't know who this is," so I denied it, mate. I was like, "Nah, nah, mate, I didn't." I was fine. I had a great time. And then I was just like, "Oh, it was bad."
Oh, yeah, that was funny, man.
Very
Two
good.
fingers blasting this.
I like that he actually did the action.
Aye, and he was
Very
So I
important.
just said to the big one this
Aye,
time.
aye.
he's
very
like,
important.
she's shatting my horn.
Oh.
Because you've got to be vigorous with it. You can't just gentle that in. You've got to.
So that's run down his pinky onto his horn.
Oh, there's a substantial amount there.
Aye, that's
there's no
like-
danger he's caught it off.
He was like this. He was like this.
Aye.
Unbelievable, Jess.
So I followed through.
What does the lassie
After
do?
the
though?
way in.
Oh, did you
Did
shut
ya?
yourself?
So I'm lying in the bed, just rehydrating myself, coming back round to normal. And that way you've not really properly farted in a couple of days proper. So I was like, that was what it was. And I was just like, I like to box this day. so I followed through, man. And be sharp.
Aye, I've
Just
done
see when you said that about the pinky and it's like, bloop. Basically what happened. So
I've done it on a plane.
Aye.
I was sick and shat myself at the same time.
on a plane,
Aye.
oh,
It was bad.
Disgusting, mate.
Me and my missus went to Gran Canaria for, I think it was like my 21st birthday, and just... Aye. I drank the fucking tap water. You know, mate, I drink the tap water there, eh?
no.
I did.
You want to hear my shiting story?
Everyone's got one, mate.
Big James, weekend also.
Big James Campbell.
Yours was just there.
Big James Campbell.
Great
had,
guy.
Come back for Abu Dhabi. Hadn't seen him in maybe about 6 months, 3 months. It was whatever it was. So we end up in this wee nightclub in Airdrie called Diamonds. It was the only place that was open. It was like a Monday night. So we just started drinking. And I think I had like 30 quid in my pocket. I said, just give shots for it. Bum. So I was staying with my mum at this point, and I managed to get up the stairs and I fall asleep on the flare. And I wake up and I'm going, oh no, I've shot myself.
Spud style.
It wasn't,
mate, what a scene.
it wasn't even like wet, it was fucking solid.
Oh, really?
It was like a grown man's shite.
Oh.
Right, but what made it worse was I tried to sit up.
And squash it
I
off.
squashed it all and it was like fucking it was like Play-Doh coming out my pants. And then I had to go into the shower and try and wash, and I'm just greeting in the shower because I was so fucking drunk.
See, you don't get this at any other podcast. Come on,
Wash,
you
you ever-
just admitted to shiting ourselves, know what I mean?
You ever get
Fucking
steaming
hell.
and try and take on your old man when you were like a young guy?
Mate,
Like, aye.
how
So-
have you just fell asleep and shot yourself during
I fell asleep
your
I
sleep?
fell asleep in the flare, but it was alright because the floor was wooden. shat myself, and I remember this bit, wasn't he just like, it was like a bulge, it was like Einhorn is Finkel, it was a bulge at the back.
Were you greeting?
I was greeting everyone, I was just emotional.
Oh, actually, there was a boy, I want to say,
But I want to tag back into you. Did you try and fight your dad as a young
loads of
whippersnapper?
times. Like,
And how did you
barricaded
do?
myself in my room and everything. Like, you come in here, you're fucking getting it. Like, I mind once we had a wee hedge out the front of the house. So what I used to do is get the taxi to drop me off and then fucking run away for it and just lie down. So I'm not going to pay. This is back when you could pay cash for a taxi. Can't do that now. So I would lie down, right, taxi driver's gone, right, my way fucking. So I've slotted up wee hedge and I'd got stuck in it. So, and I couldn't get out of the hedge. I know.
You got a hedge?
I know.
Were
I
you fucked out your tits?
Aye, fucking
Aye,
cabbage.
right.
So my old man's like come out for his work in the morning.
You're still in the hedge.
Got me in the hedge. He's got me in the hedge,
Fucking
mate.
Sonic.
And he's like, get the fuck out of there. What the fuck you... I'll fucking get your fucking hands off me. I'll fucking do you. Like, I'm 17 or 18, but my dad would just be like, aye.
Just
no
burst you in the
bother.
mouth?
Aye, mate. Imagine like fucking 5 a.m. Your old man's just up for a day of work and he's got to deal with his fucking 17-year-old, 18-year-old dickhead of a son stuck in the front garden. Can he get out the garden?
You ever seen the pornos where the chicks are stuck in the wash machine and that?
Aye, they're just getting blasted.
Under the bed.
Off
Under
their
the bed.
stepson. Why is that hang?
Well, Ross is hanging out a hedge.
Just got fucking getting bummed off guns.
Just a big road in the street. A big line to stay the guys at
Punishment bummings. Phenomenal. But oh mate,
I've never fought with my dad. I shoved him through the bin in the kitchen one time because he wasn't letting me out. That was it. I just shoved him and ran.
I used to arm wrestle my dad back in the day.
Oh, I've seen that. I've seen
all
that in person.
Aye. So it took me ages to beat my dad at arm wrestling because he was a man.
Aye.
Like he was a proper man,
Big
and I was a wee
dude.
boy.
Dad's a big dude, man.
Aye. And he was a coach builder, panel beater, and a mechanic by trade. So it was proper
Hands
manual
all day.
labour, hands all day. I'd been going to the gym for like fucking maybe about 6 months. Thought it was a ticket, you know. Had they be like fucking muscles, like because I'd been doing the old bicep curls, you know. Had no idea about what to do. I was like, I'll be able to do you. Couldn't beat him. What? I could not fucking beat my top.
Odd.
Until this day was tremendous. We done a podcast with Darren O'Connell, remember?
Right. Live podcast.
It was a live podcast. It was in the On More Blackfriars, was it?
Classic Grand.
Classic Grand. And I put my dad up onto the stage. to
Did you
arm
beat him
wrestle.
that day?
I beat him that
Did
day.
you really?
I had my tap off and everything. I had
I got
Did
pure
you give it 100?
live audience and he's
got
got to start up
I
to
your
arm
old man's
wrestle.
lit you there.
no, and if I got
Old man's done you a
Yeah,
song.
man, was the old guy's 55. I'm fucking. I don't know.
Can he show my laddie up here? I'm going to have to
So
let him
I had
know.
the t-shirt off.
Like Austin.
got my t-shirt off.
Austin and he's like that to Chris Rock. Like, don't hit me. Like, that's
dad
like,
fight.
your dad done that for
My
the
dad,
audience.
oh, right, and honestly, mate, I tried like fuck to try and beat him my whole life, and that was the day I done it. And now you fucking soiled it, you prick. Sorry, you absolute scumbag.
I come in getting like a wee bench and that for my birthday or Christmas when I was like 15. My old man just burst in my room.
I used to shag birds on my weight bench, man.
Phenomenal.
My
dad just
Come on
busting
in,
in.
man. Like, I like you.
You think you're hard, aye? And then jumping on the bench and like repping it, you think you're hard, aye? And then just leaving. Like, what the fuck was that about? That's just
Did you grow up in my like alternate universe for everybody else?
Oh, mate,
You know,
I-
man's just fucking getting bumped
Ross,
in
did you
hedges.
ever like just get full of drugs and start doing weights?
Andy Cameron
Like-
done that.
on like
Andy Cameron.
May days.
Same, man, same.
He used to get fucked up like acid
Aye.
and do weights.
Mate, he
Fucking
messaged me one day and he was
Diamond
like,
pressed ups, half kettlebells.
he was like, mate, I've got loads of these acid tabs. Do you want some? And I was like, no. Why would I want
He
them?
keeps asking me to put him on one of my shows, bare knuckle.
He's
mental,
at,
man.
mate,
Is
did
that-
he
would
not
you
go to
do-
like a Highland Games and
Is it-
fight some cunt bare knuckle or
Would you know
something?
day bare knuckle and Hollowtown Havoc? Because I would fight it. I'm like, nah, mate.
It'll become not allowed.
Why not?
versus Godbeer.
I know.
He weighs like one of Godbeer's legs. I'd be into seeing that. If you can make that happen, Hollowtown Havoc, I'm into it.
A bare knuckle fight on Hollowtown Havoc.
No, a bare knuckle fight between Andy Cameron and Mark Godbeer.
David versus Goliath. That's what people want to see. Want to see
Let's
this
get the
fucked
people
up,
Andy
going.
probably did it.
fucked up like my Japanese Russian shit. They have like Siamese boxing.
Oh,
We already spoke about it, didn't we?
10 on 10. That's the one. See when you've got a pile of boys. Or have you seen the one with like the father and son fighting the tranny? You seen that one?
No.
Oh, mate, that's a good one.
I like the Spider-Man Spider-Man's fighting Batman and Robin. He's just fucking them up. Because the one's obviously trained and the other one's not trained.
Seen the one where the guy fights 9 or 10 birds in a row, and like the winner gets tickets to his show, and he just fucking batters every single one. Have you seen this? Mate, they come in, they're like, there's some big heavy women in that. He's got them against the ropes, absolutely kicking fuck out them, mate. Like, he shows them no mercy whatsoever.
What about that guy we were talking about last week? The Veach guy that just front kicks cunts. Who's this
Big
guy?
Charlie
about?
Veach.
Charlie Veach.
So he just gets into arguments on the street, and he's Scottish, but he's always in cities.
Is he Scottish?
Aye, but he's always in like cities. Like, do you know who he is?
See
Aye.
if junkies walk up to him, he just teeps them.
He'll just be like,
Get the fuck away from
or
me.
he's like, don't
Sends
come
them
up to
flying.
me. But he'll always like, he'll be recording them, and he'll be like, don't come any closer to me. And then they step in, and he just fucking launches them, kicks them, pushes them.
See this guy?
Mate, he's funny as fuck.
So,
But the world like hates him.
He's like to one and what gender are you?
Wait, do you see a picture of him? You'll be like, I bet this guy doesn't he?
I'm a woman.
I'm a lady.
Like she tries to interrupt him. He's like, what gender are you?
Mate, he's fucking chucks about all types of cunts.
He's insane, man.
This is the whole thing.
I don't know if this is the right guy.
That is him.
Aye, that's
But somebody's recording him.
Somebody's recording him trying to get him to bite.
Right, aye, that's what that is.
But that's what tends to happen for whatever reason. But why does he get into these arguments?
He's recording one junkie, and our junkie pal's coming from miles away. It's a guy. He's like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" He gets so close and just says, "Boom!" Sends him about 10 feet. He's like, "Get the fuck away from me!" Oh, it's
Talking
so
about the junkies,
funny.
we've seen the junkies that are fighting
So
outside the thingy, and the boys dishing out the spinning back kicks.
I've not seen.
The boy
They're
walks on my
inside.
bike.
They're inside.
A guy runs up my bike. What's up the bike?
Did they put a music on the top here? So it's hilarious.
He's like fucking kung fu
They're in
kid.
their own world, aren't they? They're in
What
their
a
own
life though,
world.
eh?
Aye.
Just moving about day to day. Your only concern is getting a Huddy Mare skag. Nothing to worry about.
Right, let's see this.
No, this isn't it.
He just
But
gets
we'll
it.
get some videos for the
But
next time.
this will be one of them. This is if there's honestly
I'll
so
send you
many
some of
videos
them
of
this year,
him.
man. He's hilarious.
But what's he getting arguments with people about? Just anything.
I think he just tries to confront people.
Aye.
He
He caught a security
just gonna
guard.
keep this boy?
He called a security guard an onion. And honestly, it was the stupidest thing ever.
So that's pretty much it for the podcast. Oh, we have a poster.
posters.
Young Jamie, who's the name?
The winner is Gary O'Farrell.
G stuff.
And you want to unroll with this? Guys, this is what you've won.
Shagger.
And the boys will write a comment in the back here.
So it's
but we've also
Richard Franklin against Vanderlei Silva,
we've
UFC
also
99.
got another poster to give away, which is
It's a beauty.
Aye. So for another 2,000, so if we get 2,000 followers, we'll do the exact
Yeah.
same again, man. We'll fire it.
Historic one, that one.
Aye.
I'll draw a wee anchor on the back and
Well,
that.
Gary, whatever you want wrote on it. The boys can fucking...
Message in.
Also, keep liking and sharing the podcast and keep the
Subscribing.
comments coming, man. But we're enjoying the fan interaction
And tag us in your stories and stuff like that when you're listening, and because I like to see that
we've
people
also
are listening.
we've been discussing the further in the future for the Patreon, and we're looking at doing a few bits and bobs. So we're looking at running through some of your old fight footage. So when we first started fighting and have us break them down, we're going to be looking at doing live content through fights. We're going to have to sit down and actually pick one of these to do. And
Also-
then Captain Stabbin's fight camp.
Yes, so we got a fight poster yesterday. Somebody's fight got announced.
Aye, my fight. I've
Aye.
got a fight.
So-
Sorry, mate, do you know what?
Stabbin.
I'm not that excited.
Defending the title.
I feel positive
Defending
about
the
it.
Here's the thing.
But I don't want to.
Are you getting announced as Captain Stabbin?
I'll have
Is
to.
George Lamb? George
to.
Lamb?
John.
Hi guys,
I don't
it's
know-
Captain Stabbin.
I'll have to. I'll have to.
Of course, man.
Fighting out of the fucking leather podcast.
See when-
Not even taking a gym.
See when
That's the
you're
gym.
down in Manchester, like how many people was commenting on the leathered socials was like, but how's Ross getting on? That's what everybody wanted to know.
We'll
So
do that,
Aye, for sure.
and we've got some other ideas, but within the
Aye.
People
next
seem to be
couple
quite
of weeks-
interested in weight cutting as well, so we'll
got a few
do.
guests planned for the year as well. So the Patreon will be good for if you want that extra content.
Aye, so we're going to do the one live podcast every single week. Apologies for last week, obviously we couldn't make it, and then for the Patreon we'll have loads of.
We did
different
actually
stuff.
do like a a joint video call, but it just
didn't
the
work.
sound.
I don't know what was wrong with it. I
That
recorded
was
it.
Ross's fault anyway.
Well,
wasn't
it was me who was. What was wrong? What went wrong? Can you not record sound on a WhatsApp group call?
I think you can, as far as I know.
So it was me. Is that what you're saying?
You pilgrim.
My heat was just fully
So
fucking
that's pretty
cabbages.
much. We've got some big
Loads
things lined
coming
up. Same again. We'll look at doing a live show in front of an audience.
Definitely.
We'll look at doing. Yeah, we'll get our brand out there.
It's no where I'm fighting is the Woodburn Club, Dalkeith, just outside Edinburgh. It's no a massive venue. If you want tickets, just keep an eye on my Instagram. They'll pop up, but
Yeah.
the venue will sell it.
We maybe run some competitions here. You can maybe get tickets.
Win some tickets.
for that as well.
Come along.
Be in the corner.
Aye.
Hand me water.
I'll be allowed three
Well,
boys.
Aye. I'll still be in a corner. There is a space. If
I'll
somebody
be allowed
wants to
three.
maybe bid for the other space, I don't know.
Mate, what I did, just have somebody just join us in the corner.
And put it to fucking
What,
charity.
you looking for sponsors for it as well?
Looking for anything. Anybody wants to sponsor, but I'd prefer if they wanted to come on with a leathered podcast
So
as
I'm
opposed
going to
to
be
me myself.
commentating again on the old ADCC.
I must have missed my invite.
Will you
Look, check
will
your-
you be competing on it this time
Don't
again?
think so.
You're
No.
on the poster.
Could we do a leather? I think that's just using my image.
Did you share it?
I did
Aye.
share it.
I thought
That's-
I thought you shared it because you wrote
That's
it.
what I thought as well.
No,
I
no,
saw
no.
you in the poster and I was like,
Jamie
oh,
could hit up a wee live event for the grappling comp.
We could.
We could, and we could rip the boys as they're looking in. Let's stay this
when is
fucking
it?
dick.
It's June.
So more back see because I done it last time. So I don't know if Kev Macklin maybe competing in it again or if you're commenting again. If no, then I don't see why the three of us.
I'm
can't.
going to message Mop right now and be like, listen, Kev McLean's not happening. That doesn't work for me.
Has our friend not been calling him out anyway?
Young Elliot, aye.
Wants a
I met
piece
up
of
with Elliot yesterday.
The kid.
Aye, the kid. He's been doing all right. He says you abuse him all the time.
I do not, mate.
He says you
He's
just
a bad
you know,
man.
he told
mate.
me. He told me. He said, Ross, the very first time I ever met Ross, he told me he was a pickpocket, a professional pickpocket.
Well, who would I say that?
And I was like, Ross is fucking wild, isn't he? Ross is like,
You're a piece of shit, man.
I am, mate.
He's like-
Aye.
but he just like so this
And see
is
Saturday.
this is your sports psychologist.
Aye.
I was happy
Why? Because you just saw
because
me.
I seen you in your
Natural
natural
habitat. Well, you know, just like, he's doing it. He's
No,
doing it.
because you were just enjoying yourself.
Mate, I was.
Although Derek,
That was my big.
we just didn't stop dancing.
I got up on the Sunday morning. Oh, mate, I see.
So we went for like my fight before that was against George Hardwick, who beat me, to then George's next fight, dancing his walkout because he comes into Heartbreaker, and then when he wins the fight, we're all dancing. I'm like, that guy just beat me. Like, why are we celebrating this guy?
Okay, was this fight good?
Is he getting a UFC chance?
He was good, man. He was really good.
I saw the stoppage on like
Very
Instagram
good.
later on.
Aye.
Well, we've got the
Definitely.
UFC London coming up soon, haven't we? 22nd of July. Is he potentially going to be on it?
Do you know what I liked
Probably.
about it? Was he jumped on the guillotine and it looked like he was going to get that, didn't he?
Aye.
They scrambled back up and then he went in and finished the fight with strikes.
So he came up to the back of the bus and shook my horn and says, "Well done, brilliant." I'm like, "No, you're the man. You're the champ, man. You well done."
he seems a nice guy.
So
mate.
if he goes to UFC, I'm
There's
maybe
an
get
opportunity.
I'm maybe getting another wee crack at the title because I'm 2-1.
Look good right in the middle, mate.
Yeah,
Would look good right there.
I know. Yes.
The guy people want to see as well.
Plus, there's a possible Dana White thing for me as well. Maybe see how the back is. You don't want to fuck about with guys like that. Like, I'll take it, then pull it.
Then you have to pull,
You
for
won't.
sure.
You won't get another fucking shot.
Can't he waste cunt's time? mate?
Aye. So, aye. What Bill? What time?
That's an hour 11.
Aye.
So, guys,
Let's wrap
that has
this up.
been another leather
Paul,
podcast.
you got a shift at the.
Get a shift at
McDonald's. Chuck eggs off the wall.
Listen, I met Grado as
What you did?
I met Grado as he was coming out, right? And he was like, "Is that a McDonald's t-shirt?" And I was like, "No, it's
He was just thinking about food.
no. You know what he told me? You know what he told me? And you guys can ask him about this. He says, "Do you know the only thing he worked in McDonald's as a kid as well, as a teenager?" He said, "Do you know the only thing that used to help me? My acne." And I said, "No, what is it?" And he was like, we used to steam buns in McDonald's. So you'd put them in for the fillet of fish, a steamed bun,
Steam his face.
and he would use the bun to steam his face."
And then put it back into eat.
He says, I can't remember if I actually let somebody eat it, but he said, I used to put buns in and then just rub them in my face. Could you imagine working
so
in McDonald's?
funny.
He also told me
He's hilarious,
He
man.
also told
honestly.
me he was in the fridge, and the ice cream used to come in like these big bags, and they're massive, right? And you'd pour them in. And he said he was in the fridge one day, and he just opened up and was chugging it, right? So he's drinking raw fucking milkshake, right? Straight up watered down milkshake. And the manager comes in. The manager comes in, and he's like, I thought I was sacked. And the guy just went, Greedo, you fat bastard. So I've got a shift there. I've got a shift in a couple of minutes. So boys,
We've all been there.
so guys, that's a little podcast, episode 11 in the bag. It's fun. We're going to keep going.
My favourite part of the week.
Aye.
It's all that's keeping me from jumping off the bridge, really.
If there's
you go.
any,
I know that bad yet.
if there's anything that you would think would be better about the podcast, let us know, man. See if we can tweak some things. Maybe even talk about MMA or something. I don't know.
That's right. We had the events at the weekend.
Aye, Max Holloway won, so
Hearts got beat again.
aye, Celtic
Yes.
won. Just a norm.
And that's it.
Guys,
The Bruins tonight playoffs as well.
keep it high.
See you again soon. I've not got a fucking I've not
Suck
got an intro
my
on
unit.
it. Right, I've not got an
Curtis
outro.
Lazarus.
That's me.